There we go.
This is a fabulous
Hey, tell me it's a cigarette boat.
Yeah. Lake Osceola. It's named after the famous Seminole Indian leader. As a matter of fact, long before Winter Park was here, they claimed that Osceola camped on the shores of these lakes and loved Winter Park, or loved the area. It wasn't Winter Park yet. Now, for those of you that are new to this town, it's such a cool place. There's just a lot to do here. The best thing is taking the boat tour. You're doing it, I know. Hooty hoo, exactly.
Can we do the wave?
Yeah, we could. Yeah, there you go. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. You guys are all going to be trouble. I can tell right now. Aside from the boat tour, there's other things to do here. As a matter of fact, just back it up a little bit because I do want to talk about this museum over here to the right. We have 3 museums and 2 history museums in town, but one of the main ones is this one to our right. And if you look over here, you're going to see sculptings on the lawn, yellow house in the back. We call it Alvin Museum, and he was a Czechoslovakian-born sculptor, but he moved to the United States when he was young. He did his work in Chicago. The Art Institute became world renowned while he was there, and then he retired to Winter Park and lived in the yellow house with his wife, and she loved him. So when he passed away, she left the house and the gardens as a shrine and a museum to him. And not just a great museum, as you can see, it's just pretty here. So a lot of events are held on that lawn. The most important one, my daughter got married there. I know, still paying for it just a bit. Yes, it never ends. Now the Gray White House has a neat story. So that's on where the people are. That's on the museum's property, but it's only been there for a little over 3 years, even though the house was built in 1885. So that is one of the oldest homes in this town. It's called the Caton House. It used to sit on the other side of this lake until some people bought it and didn't want it, and the locals didn't want to lose a historic home, so they raised the money to move it here. However, they couldn't use the roads to do that because of all the trees in this town, so they cut that house in half. The other are not entirely natural. Little streams did connect these lakes before this was a town, but also before the town was here, the whole area was a pine forest and logging community. The loggers needed a way to get the pine trees they cut down to the sawmill, which is on the next lake here. So they hand dug these canals, the loggers did, back in the 1870s to do that. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit at least, about the foliage here. And one thing we'll see a lot of is the stuff that hangs from these trees, which you're seeing now. It's called Spanish moss, but it is neither Spanish nor moss, so go figure that one. It's what they call an air plant or epiphyte. And they used it for a lot of things in the early 1900s. They stuffed mattresses with it. Found out quickly it's full of bugs, which is also where the expression, don't let the bed bugs bite, first started. This red tree to the right is not a red tree, as my friend up here. That's a bougainvillea vine inside a rain tree, but really pretty this time of year. And of course, this is why I have you all stand up and introduce yourselves. No, obviously don't stand up here. That goes to Lake Mizell, and Mizell's were the first folks to settle here that weren't Native Americans. They came here in 1858, raised a bunch of crops, and they also raised a bunch of kids. They raised 11 children here. Still got a lot of who went to Rollins and loved him and gave the money to build it. So they did that in 1932. Traditionally, it's open to the public. If you are walking through that campus, it's a place I always suggest stopping in. Little boathouse belonging to the 2 homes behind it, and the guy has turned the boathouse into an Airbnb. Modest brown wood house with a deck, and that one originally was a retreat for the Georgian Revival home that was built in 1889. The gentleman that had it built was from Cortland, New York, but he really liked Winter Park and wanted to live here in the winter. The town's called Winter Park because it started off as a place for wealthy folks like him to just have winter homes only. Look at this. This osprey just almost looks like an eagle. But,
He got a fish.
He did, a little guy. Yeah.
He got a fish.
The last home he designed. And a lot of his work was Mediterranean. He did 7 buildings at Rollins. This one is Bermuda style. It's unique in a couple ways. Every room in it does look onto the lake, and of course it has a white sandy beach. And lake sand's darker than that, so the rumor is it's also hand dug by loggers. Kind of looks like they had cocktails before they did it. Doesn't go straight. It's pretty. It's also pretty hard to navigate, and because of that, we do ask that y'all stay seated. Look at the color of bougainvillea here. It's kind of a coral color.
Nice backyard.
You know, this tree in front of us that goes across the canal, it used to stand up straight. Hurricane Donna blew this one over in 1960, and it miraculously fell on the three poles right there. No, of course it didn't. More fake news for you. And a little better view of Alabama Drive over here on the right. The plants on the left with the big leaves that look like elephant's ears are called elephant ear plants. I know. Figured. Where'd they come up with that?
Mine are bigger.
Yeah, yours are bigger. Yours are much bigger.
He likes porches. Porches all the way around.
We're gonna, I promise you, it's gonna be windy out here. It's just the wind's coming from the north, and we just have a longer way to be able to. Also in the park, we do have this little 6-column structure called an exedra. And on the back of that, it says, pause friend. Let beauty refresh the spirits. A great place to get your spirit refreshed. Really used mostly though for taking pictures. And there are, quite a few small weddings are held there. Sometimes they're short weddings. They don't have any bathrooms in the park. You have to kind of hurry over. So I mentioned that the wind, now it's got a chance to pick up steam. It's going to be a little bit here. I'm going to try to keep you dry. We'll turn them downwind and go upwind. We'll be okay, I hope. For days like this, but there's still some left. To the right of that modern one behind the trees, that used to be the largest house on this chain. It's still one of the largest. That's about a 23,000 square foot house. I know it. It also used to have a basketball court on the inside. So that was Harsh Grant's house who played for the Magic. And when he was that. This is Palmer.
Palmer.
Yeah, Phelps would be way to our left, which would be east. Yeah. The story goes that he wanted to keep a piano in his dorm room. Rollins wouldn't let him, so his parents bought that house and put one in there for him. And not only did their son do well at Rollins, he did very well when he left. He had a television show a lot of you watched. His name was Fred Rogers. I don't know if that's what he's about. So now you know what neighborhood he was talking about. I was just going to say is really big Mediterranean home, which is the largest house in the chain. So that one's about 28,000 square feet. And the house that used to sit on the actually in Florida. Although I look like it, I'm not the original driver here.